Hello, it's Maggie, the Cheshire Crafter here. Now, as you know, I make quilts and gifts for friends and relatives and for young children, babies, new babies, and for charities. And this time I'm going to make something just for me. I was a nurse and midwife in the NHS, that's the National Health Service, for 24 years, and as such I still have my uniforms available. So I'm going to create an NHS memory quilt out of my uniforms. I was a sister and specialised in the care of neonates and then went into teaching. Now, some of my uniforms were white with epaulettes. I don't have the white uniforms anymore, but I do have the sister's uniform and 2 pairs of scrubs, so let me show you those. And in this video I'm going to talk you some of my memories and talk about the repurposing of that fabric into a quilt, and I'll show you the making of that quilt in subsequent videos. I'm going to try and cut the fabric into jelly roll strips, so this quilt would be jelly roll friendly if you're wanting to follow along. I now live opposite the original hospital that I started my student nurse training at, and in that one the student nurse uniform was bright pink. My sister's uniform was a size 14. That was a 38-inch bust, so I was quite small then. I'm delighted to say I found some of my old badges and the fob watch that was bought for me from my former colleagues before I went into nursing. But the 2 badges show the qualifications of a qualified nurse for England and Wales and a member of the Royal College of Midwives. Now, we used to wear a Petersham buckle with this and a silver buckle, and when I qualified my mum bought me this beautiful silver buckle. That was before they realised that the Petersham and the buckles actually were quite restraining when you were doing physical work. So this is when they changed into uniforms that had plackets in the back and to more comfortable scrubs, which we used when we were in theatres, which is why I've still got 2 pairs. Let me show you. Each hospital had a sewing room with seamstresses in, and we were measured for our uniforms. They may take about 4 to 6 weeks to come, but it meant that they fit well and they were the right length, so this fit me very well. I needed to take my uniforms home to wash, wear it once, iron it, wear it again the next day at work, clean and dry. Sometimes they went to the hospital laundry, but especially when I wore white uniforms with either pale blue or navy epaulettes, they needed washing at home. You couldn't guarantee that when you had 4 uniforms that the system would work sufficiently to get your uniforms back in time for you to have something to wear. However, now theatre scrubs were different. The logo on this is Chester Health Authority, which tells me this was before we had NHS trusts. The fabric was a good strong fabric. They had to be robust. Because it was for theatre work, they had to be practically boil washed at 100 degrees. Each hospital had their own laundry and were returned, and whenever we went into theatres, we selected a new pair of scrubs for the morning session or the afternoon session, or to wear for the day. They then got placed in the laundry basket to go into the hospital laundry. But you can see that there is just a lot of material in a V-neck top, short sleeve top. And when we look at the trousers, you can see that they're just a short drawstring, but quite a wide leg trouser. And I think it's the trousers that I'm going to start to cut first. And I can easily get 2.5-inch wide jelly roll strips from that. I could probably get a 10-inch layer cake cut from the trousers. So by the time that we get to this set of scrubs, the logo has changed and this has my name in it. So this was allocated purely for me. This means that I would have taken them home, washed them at home, and then taken back into wear for comfort, especially when we're working in hot areas. In the same way that the trousers are loose fit, so is the top. They're quite shapeless. There is no darts in the back, so it'll make it really easy for me to unpick. Unfortunately, I've got the logo here, hospital logo here. But I might incorporate that. I might incorporate that into some memory. But in both of those outfits, there's a lot of fabric. The memorabilia then become precious heirlooms, and the jewellery, the sterling silver, and the memories held within it will be left in my will, and these will go to my goddaughter's family. I trained with her mother, and her dad worked in the NHS too. As I haven't got any family to leave them to, I think that's a good place for them to go, don't you? It goes through from my pre-nursing days, the gift that I had from my colleagues to go into nursing, the nursing school that I qualified from, and the qualification allowed me to work as a registered nurse in England and Wales, the acknowledgement of my second qualification, which was as a midwife, my working history in nursing, becoming a sister in neonates, and then my appointment between the hospital and the university as a lecturer. And I also worked for a nursing agency as a superintendent, and that nursing agency was started by a friend of mine's mother. And then my most precious gift was my silver buckle that my mum bought for me when I qualified. Both sets of trousers have only one seam on the inside leg, which means that when I open them out, they'll be about 18 inches wide, or 18 to 20 inches wide on the blue fabric. On the nurse's uniform, I've got a large dart up the back, and I've got those pockets in the way on the front, but I'll be able to get large jelly roll strips from the back. I need to unpick those darts and the hem carefully. And then this is the mix of fabric I have. As my uniform fabrics are plains, I've added 2 florals from my fabric stash. These are reclaimed fabrics, 100% cotton. These were formerly dresses that I've taken apart. One is broidery anglais and has the whites, the pale blues and greens, and the navy blue, dark navy blue, has the staff nurse blue colours and epaulette colours and greens from scrubs, and I'll use those as a contrast. I'll probably add white for borders. The navy trim will emulate the Petersham belt that I wore. So these then are my selected fabrics for my NHS memory quilt. Come back to me for part 2 where I show the making of this quilt. For now, this is Maggie, the Cheshire Crafter. Thanks for spending time with me today and allowing me to share some of my memories. Come back and join me soon again for more crafting soon, won't you? Bye.